evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out for a play. Now, I know some of you came out for those 26 flavors of ice cream, but you're still sitting here, so we count that as good. My co-producers demanded that I come out here, and the first thing I tell you is that this play is fiction. like any play, okay? Any person, place, event is all out of the writer's mind. None of it is about this park, none of it's even about Texas. If you think you recognize somebody, well, you know how they say there's one in every crowd? Tonight you're going to see lots in one crowd, but you'll see about that later. So we're going to have a couple of times when we ask for audience participation, and most of them are self-explaining, but we're going to practice the first one. Okay? So imagine you're walking down the street, you put your foot down and you hear squish. You know that's not going to be a good thing, right? And you look and there's something smelly on the bottom of your foot. So you might say, they already had it. Okay, so yes, you might say, ew. So when the sign goes up, can we sound a little more disgusted? Perfect, okay. And the rest of it, like I said, just do whatever the sign says. So, without any further yakking on my part, I would like to introduce the Fun and Sun Players production of the comedy Over 55. Thank you.
Come on. I just want you to see what it was all about.
But I was going to play bunco down the hall there.
I know, but I understand. This isn't going to take long. This isn't, oh dear. Yes, well, why don't you sit right over there? I think that's a better seat for you.
This one, okay.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Now, this won't take long. It's going to take just a moment. I want you to understand that this is the Golden Oldies Homeowners Association open meeting. Now, usually the committee just meets. There's 5 of us, but once a month we have an open meeting where any resident can come in and they can voice their concerns and complaints.
But I don't have any concerns or complaints.
Well, I would think that you could take a few moments to hear about your community and all the people who worked so tirelessly to provide for your needs. I mean, it runs as smoothly as possible, and it's all up to them. Now, I'm not asking you to thank me for my dedicated efforts, but I do think you should have the courtesy to at least listen. I know you want to play bunco. I know you do. But if you'd stay.
But I should be going. I'm going to be late.
Well, if you'd stay, you would be showing the true spirit of community. Well, as I was saying, there's usually just 5 of us that meet together. I, of course, am the chairman because I'm a retired 8th grade school teacher. I taught for 30 years. Oh, and then we have Poindexter. Now, Poindexter, he was a CPA and a statistician, and unfortunately, he has a passion, a true passion for data analysis. You'll know when you meet him. Logically, of course, he is our treasurer. You're not going to leave us now.
That was very interesting. But I really have to go.
No. There's only 2 more. There's only just two. That's right. You see, the next member is Susan. Now, Susan is a psychologist, and she worked for a family counseling center before she retired. And then we have Curly. Well, Nobody really knows who Curly is. When we ask him what he did before he retired, he says, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We really don't know, but he shows up for every meeting. You know, he's been here longer than any of us, as a matter of fact. He was here when any of us came. He comes to every meeting. We're not sure if he's really on the board, but you know, we are just too intimidated by him to even ask. We don't know if he's a surfer dude or a hitman.
Okay then. No, that was very interesting. I do have to go though.
No. No, I know. Oh, listen. Now you can't go because usually our new members wait until after the first open meeting. You're not even giving it a chance.
But I'm not a board member.
Oh, good. Here they come now. You're going to get to meet them all in person. Isn't that wonderful?
No.
Yes. Oh,
not
it
wonderful.
is.
What?
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello. I would like you to meet our new board member, Beth.
I'm not the board member.
Welcome to the board, Beth.
I'm not the board member.
Yes, you might be.
What?
I said you might be.
I might be a board member, but I'm not a board member.
Are you late for Bunko? Surely not.
I am.
Oh.
And I'm never going to make it on time if I keep this up.
Hello, glad to meet your new board member.
I am not the new board member. You can't make me a board member. I don't know much about this community, but I know that board members have to be voted on by the whole community.
Hey, so what do you do when you're not playing Bonko ball?
My family owned Sunnyside Farm and Zoo. I was a zookeeper.
That ought to be a perfect fit.
Oh.
Welcome to the board.
Curly, would you open the door and let the residents in, please? Welcome everyone to the Open Association meeting. Now, as you all know, we ask each of you to write your complaint down on a piece of paper and make sure that each one of us had a copy. Now, if you turned your copy into the office previously, then we will be calling on you first, okay? All right, now let me check. Mrs. Johnson, I see you have a problem with the South Dog Park. Now, why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Well,
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Mr. Edwards, as I tell you every month, this is not a courtroom, and it is a homeowners association meeting. You interrupt me again, and I'll have you thrown out of this meeting.
I know, but there's no fun in this community. So once a month, I like to come to this board meeting and pretend it's an episode of Law and Order. So is that a crime?
No, it is not a crime, but it is extremely disrupting, not to say annoying. Now, would you sit down, please?
All right already.
Now, I am so sorry, Mrs. Johnson. Now, you were going to tell us about your problem with the dog park.
well, I certainly have a problem with it. That dog park is a mess. It's an eyesore. I would never take my little Bitsy there. There are tools strewn all around the inside, and the grass is uncut.
Isn't that the dog park that's closed for renovations? I'm sure it is a mess. They just started to work on it.
I understand that. However, in the meantime, if somebody would come from outside our community and see it, it would be so embarrassing. It is such a disgrace.
I thought that dog park was all locked up so no one would go in and maybe get hurt. Don't tell me someone left it unlocked.
Well, it certainly was up, but it's still an eyesore inside.
Hey, wait a minute here. If it was all locked up, how can you even see over the top of the fence when that fence is 6 foot tall? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, every day I take a walk, but before I go, I like to stretch out my legs, just like the therapist told me. So, and then halfway through, I stretch out again, so that I'm really quite limber. And then, this is how he told me to do it. You put your hands up against the wall, and you stretch your right leg back so that your calf gets all stretched out. And then you do your left leg back like this, and then you go up and down on your tippy toes 5 times.
We really do have to move on here.
All right. Everybody's in such a hurry nowadays. Okay, well, the other day I was on my walk, and I was about halfway through, and I was looking for a place to stretch. Well, I couldn't find any place, and I was right by the dog park. And I thought, well, let me use the dog park fence. So I put my hands on the dog park fence, and I stretched my right leg back, and then I stretched my left leg back, and then I went up and down on my tippy toes, like I always do.
You still couldn't see in there. Like I said, that fence is 6 foot tall, and the only one anyone could see in is through that big knot hole towards the top, and you couldn't see in that.
You're right, and that's what makes this such a coincidence. When I was put my hands right on the fence, and I was doing my tippy toes stretch right underneath that knot hole, and you'll never guess what happened. My eye lined right up with that knot hole.
Right up there.
Oh, I believe it, just not the accidental part.
This woman is crazy. I could never work with these people.
And that's when I saw what an eyesore it was. I would never take my little Bitsy there in 100 years. You really must have them do something about it.
Like, how about filling in that knot hole so silly old ladies can't stand on their tippy toes and look through it?
Like I said, I would not take another little dog there like my Bitsy. It's much too dangerous.
You must love dogs an awful lot to be so concerned. You seem like a very caring person. Did you have a dog as a small child?
We don't have time for a counseling session now. Let's just move along.
Well, that's all I have to say about that. And I stand up for all the Bitsies in the world.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
Mrs. Johnson, everyone knows your little Miss Bitsy died 16 years ago. So unless you get another dog or something else, I move we just table this and move on.
Well, I just might get another dog any day now.
Well, having a dog today costs much more than it did 15 years ago when you factor in the cost of the food and the collars and the leashes and the vet bills and the medicine and those wee-wee pads. For a small dog with a life expectancy of 15 years, the total cost would be somewhere between $15,000 and $15,922.23 over the dog's lifetime.
That pointer is very annoying.
But did you know how expensive it is?
Oh, that is, I didn't know that before. Thank you.
Can you help me? Someone stole my golf cart. What do I do, Beatrice? Do I call 911?
Well, Maxine, where did you leave it? Are you sure it's stolen?
Yes, I went in to play cards in the main building, and when I came out after cards, it was gone.
Are you sure you just didn't forget which side of the building you put it on?
I'm absolutely certain. I pulled up on the east parking lot and went into the main door, turned right, walked down the hall, went into the game room, and played cards. I might not have much sense of direction, but I do know where I parked my cart.
Okay. Why don't you just look on the other side of the building, maybe?
You mean look on the west side? Why would I look on the west side when I parked it on the east side? That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, who knows what might have happened. Just look on the other side, okay?
I don't like your implying that I'm addle-brained or something. But, just for you, I will go look on the west side.
Anyone want to bet it's there and she just forgot about where she's supposed to
No way.
Hey,
May it
I
please,
heard that.
may it please the court?
Well, it certainly does not please the court to be interrupted again. Curly, would you please escort Mr. Edwards out of this meeting? Quickly. Thank you. My goodness. Oh.
I found it. It was there. It was on the west side. Now, what I would like to know is, who put it there? I bet there are some residents here that have grandchildren visiting. Probably teenagers. And they probably took it for a joyride.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure with all the Teslas and all these in this park, that somebody want to take your golf cart for a golf cart ride.
Maybe because it's a special one. But I tell you what, I'm going to post it on Facebook. See if anybody fesses up to it. And you know what? I think I'm going to stick around here, see what this board actually does.
God. There can't be this many crazy people all in the same room.
Well, now, it's all right. It's all right. Moving right along. Mrs. Miller. Mrs. Miller?
Here I am. Oh, I forgot my purse.
You know you have a carrot in your purse?
Oh, I was munching on this carrot to keep from getting into my candy stash. When I got here, I put it on the seat. I removed my keys and put them on the seat. Then I picked up my purse, and I put my keys in the purse. Oh no, did I put the keys on the seat and the carrot in instead? I'm going crazy trying to get ready for this dinner party. I had to go to the store to buy milk, and when I got there, they had a sale on canned goods. So I stocked up.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Did you leave your keys locked inside?
oh, I forgot the milk. Oh, and how am I going to get into my car door?
Mrs. Miller?
Mrs. Miller.
If you don't get in your
Yes.
car by the time this meeting is over, I can open your door in maybe 3 minutes.
Like the police can do for you? Are you part of the police department?
Oh, no, let's just say I visit there a lot. And I pick up a few things.
Okay, enough of all this. Now, Mrs. Miller, is this what you came to talk to us about?
Certainly not. I would not bother you with my little problems.
Well, Mrs. Miller, what did you come to talk to us about?
Can you give me a little hint?
The swimming pool?
Oh, yes, the swimming pool. But first, I want to thank you for all the hard work you do. You're so good at solving problems and helping our community.
Okay, just wait for this. Just wait.
But I do have one little concern. I was walking the perimeter of the pool the other day, and I got splashed.
On purpose?
No, I don't think it was on purpose. But I was walking the perimeter, and there was a woman swimming in the middle of the pool. How rude was that?
I told them that we'd have problems if we put water in that pool. I told them it could lead to all kinds of problems if someone actually swam in it.
Well, I've got to agree with Curly on that.
I object.
Overruled. Sit.
Well, as I was trying to say, I was walking, and when she kicked her foot, it splashed my hair. And I had just had it styled that morning because I was going out to dinner later that night. So I was wondering if maybe you could set up a special time just for walking, no splashing.
Well, Mrs. Miller, between water aerobics, water volleyball, water Zumba, and water walking, there's no time for swimming except 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that would be perfect.
Oh no, not so perfect for the swimmer. A swimmer might have to get up at 5:30 just to go swimming.
Well, let's see. If we lowered the water level by 4 3/4 inches, for a woman of her height, the splash would only go up to her chest and get into her hair. Of course, if we factor in the...
No, you're not helping Poindexter. No.
Well, people do like to swim. And I must say, every time I see you around the community center, your hair always looks lovely. What if the HOA bought you a shower cap? And then, if you saw a swimmer, you could slip it on and save your hairdo. I even have an artist friend who would paint some pretty flowers on it for you.
Oh,
Any kind you like.
that would work. Let me see. Do I want some daffodils or petunias? Yes, or daisies?
Sunflowers.
Oh, that's a new one. I like
Sure.
that.
I think I'm a little bit late, and I'm really, really nervous. Would you mind if I started in the middle and then went back to the beginning once I got more comfortable?
It's very important for everyone to feel comfortable here. So go ahead and start wherever you want.
Great, thank you. You won't regret this. Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, ba, ba, ba. Good times never felt so good.
So good! So good! So good!
I've been inclined
Ba, ba, ba.
to be...
Stop!
What?
Stop! What's wrong with you people? This song mesmerizes everybody. What do you think you're doing?
Auditioning.
Auditioning for what?
Well, for the Neil Diamond contest. Did I sound like him? Huh? Did I do good? Huh? Did I? Huh? Did I? Huh? Did I? Huh?
So let me see if I have this right. You're auditioning for the Neil Diamond contest?
That's correct.
How do you think you did?
I think I did good.
Would you like to talk about it?
No.
If you want to come by my house later, I could help you with some techniques to learn to relax.
Whoa,
And gain
sexy little
confidence.
mama there.
Leading the witness.
No, that's more like seducing, though, isn't it?
It's you again, Mr. Edwards. Curly, escort him out.
The Neil Diamond auditions are next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Oh, by the way, your guitar's tone knob is turned down too low. You might want to fix that before the audition.
Well, thanks for the advice. I'll see you Tuesday.
Oh, dear.
Oh, excuse me.
Shelley, yes.
just have something to say real quick. Do you mind if I just jump right in?
Well, why not? Everyone else has.
Well, I just came here to say thank you. Last month, I was desperate because the activity office was closed and the activity director was gone on vacation. So I just didn't know who to ask. You see, I belong to the jewelry club, and every couple months we have a show. But we only get about, maybe 6 women coming to our show. The other groups have a lot more people attending their shows. So we didn't know if it was maybe people didn't like jewelry, or maybe we didn't advertise enough on Facebook. We just didn't know. But then, your wonderful chair lady said she could help me right away. She told me it would just take 2 words to get more people to attend our show. I was a little skeptical, but our show was coming up in 4 days. Well, let me tell you, she was right. She was absolutely right. At our last show, we had 9 women and 11 men. We had our best sales ever.
What'd she tell
Yeah,
you?
what'd she tell you?
2 words
What 2 words?
that will change your life.
What
2 words?
Free cookies.
I'm telling you, people, especially men, will do anything for free cookies. Even when they can go to the store and buy a whole package of them. And free donuts work too. You know, sometimes we get companies in here that want to tell us about their services or tell us about their products, and they will offer free donuts. You know, one time we had a gynecologist come. He was giving a lesson on estrogen therapy for women. He had 13 men in the audience munching on their donuts. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That's absolutely amazing. Well, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, by the way, we'll have another jewelry show in a couple of weeks, and it will be nice if some of you could come along. And you know what we'll be serving.
Free cookies.
Yep.
I plead the 5th. Oh, shut up and sit down. It sounds like you drank the whole 5th.
Yes. All right. Moving right along.
Am I too late? Am I too late for the meeting?
Did you fill out a form in advance?
Yeah. My name is Axel.
Well, Axel. Oh, Axel. Actually, you're next in line.
Oh, good. Okay.
It says that you have a problem with the weed whacking. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, I'm coming.
All right.
Hang on.
Yes. Well, welcome.
We
Yes.
do have a problem here.
All right.
I'm coming.
Okay.
See, it's really my Tweety's problem.
Excuse me, but I don't think we allow birds in the building.
Well, Curly said, okay, this is my emotional support bird. Aren't you Daddy? Little emotional support? Daddy loves Tweety. Yeah, he's that.
Happy.
Anyway, Tweety here's got a big problem. See, the weed whackers and mowers, they start at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. He sleeps till 9 a.m. every day. And that messes him up, Those mean old men start before you even get up. Yeah, poor Tweety. Yeah. So, he flutters, flies all over the cage and screams, and it's like he's gonna hurt himself. So, we were wondering if maybe you could, the mowers and weed whacker do like 9 o'clock on Fridays? Wouldn't that make Tweety happy? Yeah, poor Tweety.
Oh, the poor thing. That sounds so scary for Tweety.
Oh, yeah.
How does it make you feel to see your little bird so upset?
Oh, Tweety, you're so happy, doesn't it? You know, not really. But, yeah, we get really anxious, you know. He's just afraid he's going to hurt himself, you know.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Well, I took him to the vet and said, hey, you know, what's going on? And he says, you keep this up and he's going to become permanently anxious.
Maybe I could stop by some morning and offer some comfort and support.
Oh, enough of the counseling, okay?
For me or the bird?
Both.
Axel, we feel really badly about this, but I honestly don't know what we can do. It took us 3 sessions to come up with the schedule we have now. Just hours and hours of trying to figure this out logistically.
It actually took us 9 hours and 27 minutes and wait a minute. 9 hours, 27 minutes, and 7 seconds to come up with this schedule.
No, not helpful again, Poindexter. No.
May we have a short recess?
No.
You bet we're anxious.
I must have fallen down a rabbit hole or something. This cannot be happening.
Wait a minute. I have an idea.
Oh.
We can't control the situation, but we might be able to control Tweety's reaction. Does Tweety give a special treat that you don't give him very often?
Well, sometimes I give him a pumpkin seed. I think he likes them.
Good. Have you ever heard of Pavlov and how he taught his dogs to salivate at the ringing of the bell because they knew a treat was coming?
Yeah, I think I saw him on America's Got Talent a couple years ago.
Okay. Well, anyway, it might take about 5 weeks, but on mowing day, you should stand right beside his cage at 8 a.m. The minute the mowers start, you pull the cover off the cage and give him a pumpkin seed. After a few weeks, he'll associate the noise with getting his special treat. So instead of frightening him, the noise will give him something to be happy about.
You know, that might... Yeah. That Pavlov dude is pretty smart. He's got a show in Las Vegas.
Thank you, Axel. We appreciate your input. Please have a seat. Well,
job.
Mr. Ernest. Mr. Ernest, I believe you are here wait a minute, to tell us about the grass being too long.
Yes, I am. In the condensed version of the rules, on page 7, it states that the grass will be maintained at 3 inches tall. So you have to mow it when it's 4 inches tall in order to keep it at 3 inches tall. I went out and measured my grass last week. 4.5 inches tall. Unacceptable.
Wow.
This is not what I'm paying my dues for. So do I get a reduction in my monthly dues?
Mr. Ernest, you probably should have called us the day that you measured the grass. I mean, how do we know that it's been measured properly?
You men seem to like measuring. Is it a guy thing?
Why, yes it is, little lady. And it was measured correctly, and I've got the picture to prove it.
Well, you certainly were thorough.
I submit this as Exhibit 1.
One more outburst, and I'll have you thrown out of this courtroom. No, I meant I will have you thrown out of this meeting. Sit down, please.
What was the date of the picture taken?
It was the 21st.
Wait a minute. The 18th and the 19th and the 20th, they were days that we had nonstop storms. The mowers had to catch up, so they lost 3 days worth of mowing.
Hey, it was bright and sunny on the day I took this picture.
Well, they can't mow all the lawns at the same time.
They could have started with mine.
Well, wait a minute. Page 277 of the uncondensed rules for the Golden Oldies Home Association states that, and I quote, the grass will be maintained at approximately 3 inches weather permitting. Besides that, it had rained 5 inches in 3 days. We have 4 inches of topsoil on our yards. If the heavy mowers could even get into your yard to cut the grass the day the picture was taken, after 5 inches of rain, they could leave about 3 inches worth of ruts in your yard.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Hey, Ernest.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. If you're so good at measuring, would you be interested in going out by our duck pond? We're thinking about putting a sand volleyball court out there, and you could see if it might fit.
Sure, be more than happy to.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think we've covered everyone now.
The jury has reached a verdict. We, the jurors, find all of the defendants guilty as charged.
Is that you again, Mr. Edwards?
Do I look like Mr. Edwards?
My God.
I don't care what you look like. I know who you are.
Hey, I'll take care of this. Come on, Mr. Whatever the hell you are. Out of here. Hey, Jerry, let's measure that pond thing. You know, I'll give you a hand.
Hey, I can help measure.
Good.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. And if you do it in the morning, I love to cook, and I'll fix you all lunch.
Great.
And you know what we may have? Some of those cookies they were talking about.
All right.
Can I come too?
Of course you can.
Can I come too?
You just found everybody guilty. Why should you be able to come? Oh, well, I guess you can come too.
Well, Mrs. Johnson, I happen to work for Adopt a Dog. They're always looking for volunteers if you're interested.
Oh, sure, I'd love to help. I love puppies.
Oh, they're
No,
cute.
girly, lock the door quickly, quickly. Oh, goodness.
Well, Beth, what did you think of the Homeowners Association open meeting?
I think they're all crazy.
Well, that's the obvious part.
Good. He's the guy with the therapy bird. How weird is that?
Well, I've looked through all the odds and figured out all the known factors, and I say there's only a 10% chance of Beth staying on the board.
I am not on the board.
So, I guess this means you're out, right?
This meeting has been unbelievable. Try to force people on the board. You don't take no for an answer. The residents are Looney Tunes. Their problems were bizarre. Your solutions were weird. And no offense, but I think you're all crazy.
Yeah, well.
But you did find solutions. You got a bunch of people, lonely people, to make new friends. They're making plans to see each other, do things together, and they all left happy.
They did.
Yep, I'm in.
This meeting is adjourned.
Coming off.
You sometimes we get interested, really interested and involved in the people in a show or play, and we'd kind of like to know what happens to them later. And so we have a year down the road, and a lot of people have been asking me what happened to all those former board members, because they're all new on the board except me. So I thought I'd just update you. Now, I'm still on the board because no matter what I do, all the people vote for me every year, and I feel it is my duty and my obligation to remain on that board. Beth, remember Beth? Beth only stayed on the board for 2 or 3 open meetings before she became ill, and she had to be hospitalized for a couple of months. However, the doctors say that she's going to be well now, and as long as she doesn't overstress herself, she should not have another nervous breakdown. Oh, and we are so proud of Poindexter. Poindexter wrote a self-published book 6 months ago. It's entitled An In-Depth Statistical Analysis of My Family's IQ from 1834 until 2023. He already sold 4 copies.
No, wait a minute now. My mama bought one too.
Oh, my mistake. Well, I suffer from occasional insomnia, and all I have to do is pick up a copy of that book, and I read about half a page, and I am sound asleep. I'm up to page 7 now. Now, Susan, remember Susan? Susan is still quite young, but she decided that she needed to do her bucket list, and she started working on that. Now, do you all know that shady bar that's down there on 5th and Union? It's called Pete's, the one that has all the old men in it all the time. Well, all right. Pete decided that he needed to have entertainment twice a week. And so Susan went down and applied, and she got hired. Now, a couple of people have gone down to see her show down there, and I can tell you that she is pretty good. She's a wonderful pole dancer, as a matter of fact. She says that she doesn't get paid much, but the tips are really great. Really great. Now that leaves Curly. Curly was a real surprise for all of us. Curly, it seems, comes to these meetings because he wants to relax, he wants to be able to say whatever he wants to say, and he doesn't have any responsibilities. And so he continues to come to the meetings. Now, what's really interesting, though, is that when I was at the hospital last week for tests, I thought I saw Curly in a white coat. So I asked one of the nurses. I said, does he work here? And she said, now let me get this right. She said that Curly is one of the top 10 pediatric neurosurgeons in the state. He has 3 patents on medical instruments, and he has 2 patents pending. Unbelievable. Do you all remember when the governor's son was in that car accident and he was so seriously injured and they really didn't think he would ever regain brain function at all? Curly was the one that worked on him for 10 hours and got him back to total brain function. You may have seen something about that on TV. Curly actually is called Dr. William Harris. All right. So back to our present time. I would like to now have the opportunity to introduce to you the cast and crew of Over 55. We will introduce them in the order of appearance, which makes me sound a little arrogant, but my name is Louise Humble, and I was the first one out on the stage. Coming out with me on the stage was Bunko Beth, Sue Klein, Next, we have the CPA, Poindexter, Larry Godere. Our psychologist and pole dancer, Susan, Nora Quackenbush. The secret surgeon, Curly, Jerry Storer. We have our persistent juror, Will Sider. Mrs. Johnson, who was extremely interested in the dog park, Ruth Myers. Maxine, who knows exactly where she parked her golf cart, Carolyn Rexroad.
Behind you, flowers.
Mrs. Miller, who represents all of us, Janet Hebel. Playing the roles of Dylan, the musician, and Ernest, who knows exactly how tall the grass should be, is Randy Purdy. Shelley, who pulls in a crowd to her jewelry shows, Joanne Godere. The compassionate owner of Tweety, Ken Rediker. And Tweety is Tweeter D. Boyd. We have the quiet but attentive residents, Liette Craig and Ken Hebel. Our sound technician extraordinaire, Tom Boza. Always keep in mind that the sound man can kill any of us, anytime, so we really appreciate him. Okay, we have our... He did it! I'll get you for that. We have our creative videographer, Steve Thompson. Yeah. Our very talented makeup artists who made us all look as good as they possibly could, Carol Skinner and Karen Straughter. Artistic poster designer, where did she go? Tommy Still. I saw her out here. Right there. No wonder. Okay. Our chief gopher is Jim Welch. And our playwright and director, Jan Welch. I'll stay on this side. We practiced a lot.
My co-producers, Louise Humble and Nora Quackenbush, which I couldn't do without them.
And Jan, our ever creative playwright. This is for you from your cast.
It's a keychain.
We wouldn't be the team that we are without you.
Thank you, Jan. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. Do you have any? Well, we thank you all for coming this evening, and we hope you enjoyed the play.
You gonna bow?
One more? Yeah. Okay.